Hello and welcome. Today, we journey back in time to an age of gold, incense, and legendary rulers. We're delving into the epic story of a queen whose name has echoed through millennia, a figure shrouded in mystery and celebrated in scripture, folklore, and history. She is Makeda, the Lioness of Sheba. Who was this powerful woman who commanded empires and sought wisdom from the gods? And how did her legendary journey shape the destiny of a nation for 3,000 years? Join us as we uncover the truth behind the legend of the Queen of Sheba. Our story begins in the ancient world. Around the 10th century BCE, imagine a realm flourishing at the crossroads of Africa and Arabia. A kingdom rich with the most coveted treasures of the time: frankincense, myrrh, spices, and glittering gold. This was the kingdom of Sheba, while its exact location is still debated by historians. Some say modern-day Ethiopia, others Yemen. Its wealth and influence were undisputed. And ruling over this prosperous land was a queen of unparalleled intellect and grace, Makeda. From a young age, Makeda was unlike other rulers. She wasn't just a monarch who sat on a throne. She was a philosopher, a seeker of knowledge, and a student of the cosmos. Her court was a vibrant center of learning, attracting scholars, merchants, and thinkers from across the known world. She governed with a firm but just hand, her wisdom praised in every marketplace and along every caravan route. Yet, for all her power and wealth, Makeda's heart yearned for something more profound, something that gold couldn't buy: divine truth. It was this insatiable thirst for wisdom that led her to hear whispers of a king far across the sea. A king in Jerusalem, blessed by God with an understanding so deep it was said to be otherworldly. This was King Solomon of Israel, whose fame had spread like wildfire. The tale spoke of a ruler who could solve the most complex riddles, dispense perfect justice, and converse with the divine. For Makeda, this was an irresistible call. She knew she had to meet this man not to conquer or trade, but to challenge her own mind and witness this legendary wisdom for herself. And so Makeda prepared for the journey of a lifetime. This was no simple diplomatic visit. It was a massive expedition, a testament to her kingdom's power and her own determination. Imagine the sight: a caravan stretching for miles across the sun-scorched desert, laden with a king's ransom. Camels were loaded with tons of pure gold, chests overflowed with precious gemstones, and the air was thick with the fragrant aroma of rare spices and incense, gifts fit for the wisest king on earth. This journey, covering hundreds of miles, was a perilous undertaking, but Makeda, the Lioness of Sheba, was undeterred. Her quest for knowledge was more valuable than any treasure she carried. Finally, after months of travel, the Queen of Sheba and her magnificent entourage arrived at the gates of Jerusalem. The city, under Solomon's rule, was at the zenith of its glory, and the splendor of his court was breathtaking. But Makeda was not there to be dazzled by gold and marble. She came to test the king's mind. The Bible, in the Book of Kings, tells us she came to prove him with hard questions. She presented Solomon with a series of complex riddles and philosophical puzzles, designed to challenge the very limits of human intellect. One famous, though likely apocryphal, legend describes one of her tests. Makeda presented Solomon with a group of identical-looking children and asked him to distinguish the boys from the girls. Without hesitation, Solomon had them wash their hands. The boys, it is said, washed vigorously, while the girls washed delicately. In another riddle, she presented him with two identical-looking bouquets, one real and one artificial, and asked him to identify the real one from a distance. Solomon ordered the windows to be opened, and soon bees flew in and settled on the real flowers. With every challenge, Solomon provided an answer that was not just correct, but profoundly insightful. Makeda was astonished. The reality of his wisdom surpassed even the grandest tales she had heard. She declared, "The report I heard in my own country about your achievements and your wisdom is true. But I did not believe these things until I came and saw with my own eyes. Indeed, not even half was told me. In wisdom and wealth, you have far exceeded the report I heard." In that moment, a deep and powerful connection was forged. It was more than mutual admiration. It was a meeting of two of the greatest minds of their era. They spent days, perhaps weeks, in deep conversation, discussing matters of statecraft, philosophy, spirituality, and the nature of God. They spoke of the heavens and the earth, of the balance between masculine and feminine power, and the responsibilities of leadership. This meeting is where history and legend beautifully intertwine. Some traditions, particularly the Ethiopian epic known as the Kebra Nagast or the Glory of Kings, tell us that this intellectual connection blossomed into love. In this version of the story, Solomon, captivated by Makeda's beauty and intelligence, desired to have a child with her. Makeda, in turn, saw in him the father of a new, divinely ordained lineage. Their union wasn't just a romance. It was a cosmic event, a merging of two powerful bloodlines, destined to create something new. When the time came for Makeda to return to her homeland, she carried with her more than just the memory of Solomon's wisdom. According to the Kebra Nagast, she was pregnant with his child. She journeyed back to Sheeba not just as a queen, but as the mother of a future king. Months later, she gave birth to a son whom she named Menelik, meaning son of the wise man. This child would become the central figure in the founding story of Ethiopia. As Menelik grew into a young man, he longed to meet the father he had never known. Makeda sent him to Jerusalem, where he was warmly received by King Solomon. Solomon recognized him as his son and heir, showering him with honors and offering him the throne of Israel. But Menelik's destiny lay back in his mother's land. Before he left, a pivotal and clandestine event occurred. A group of Menelik's companions, the sons of Israel's elders, secretly took the most sacred object in all of Israel, the Ark of the Covenant. According to Ethiopian belief, they replaced the original with a replica. And with the Ark in their possession, Menelik and his followers returned to Ethiopia. When Makeda learned that her son had brought the Ark to Sheeba, she saw it as a sign of divine favor. She abdicated her throne in favor of Menelik, who became the first emperor of a new dynasty, the Solomonic dynasty. This lineage, claiming direct descent from King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, would rule Ethiopia for nearly 3,000 years, ending only with the fall of Emperor Haile Selassie in 1974. The Ark of the Covenant, Ethiopians believe, still rests today in a church in Aksum, guarded by a single monk, a living link to this epic history. Thus, Makeda's journey for wisdom transformed into the origin story of an empire and a faith. She became more than just a historical ruler. She became the revered mother of a nation, the matriarch of Africa's oldest Christian kingdom. In Ethiopia, she is not just a queen from a history book. She is a foundational figure, a symbol of wisdom, strength, and divine destiny. Her legacy is woven into the fabric of Ethiopian identity. The story of Makeda, the Queen of Sheba, is a powerful reminder of how one person's quest for truth can change the course of history. She was a ruler who looked beyond her borders not for conquest, but for enlightenment. She was a woman who commanded respect not just through her power, but through her intellect. She bridged continents, united cultures, and gave birth to a dynasty that would stand the test of millennia, a queen of wisdom, a mother of nations. A legend whose story connects heaven and earth. She crossed deserts for truth and returned carrying destiny. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey into the past. What part of Queen Makeda's story fascinates you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this exploration of history and legend, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more stories that bring the past to life. We'll see you in the next one.